What's up, everybody? Sensei here. Welcome to the show. Welcome to another video. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday. And we have a treat for y'all today. We have an epic rider from the West Coast, and he goes by the name of PurpleRider USA. Yeah! Thank you for joining us. I'm getting all wound up this Friday. Dude, thank you. Been watching your channel, loving what you're putting out. And how's your Friday going?
So far, so good, man. You know, I rode the electric unicycle back from work, passed about 1,000 cars. It's amazing. It's one of the best things that's ever happened to me.
That's cool, man. So what's it like riding on the West Coast? Now you're just tell everybody where you're from and how you got into the whole electric unicycle scene, who inspired you to ride. Just give us a little bit of the rundown.
All right, so I'm PurpleRider. I'm from Seattle, Washington. I ride almost all in Seattle. Originally, I was riding the electric scooters, the rental ones, and that was getting me from place to place. And I fell in love with those. I bought my own electric scooter, and it was a really good time. But the maintenance on the electric scooters was really problematic. I was getting flat tires. You got to replace the brake pads, and I just did not like the maintenance. Plus, the electric scooters were not that water resistant, and I was having some issues with that because you all know that Seattle has a fair amount of rain.
Yeah,
So
dude.
I needed something with water resistance. So there was one day where I was riding one of my new electric scooters. I was riding up the hill, and then I looked to the left of myself, and there's this person on this wheel. This wheel just passing me. I'm like, I'm full throttle, right? And this person on this electric unicycle was just passing me. I'm like, what? I need that power. Like, I need that power. So that was one of my inspirations. Plus, when I was on the eWheels website, that's where I got exposed to the electric unicycles.
Okay.
I had never really seen them before very much. And so I was looking at them like, this is interesting technology. Probably not for me. I'm just going to buy my VSET 9 Plus and then go from there.
Call it a day, right?
Yeah, call it a day. It's like, you guys could have your own thing, totally fine. And yeah, then after having some issues with the water resistance and the maintenance, I just said, screw it. I'm going to learn how to ride electric unicycle, and that's how I'm going to commute.
Nice. First thing we have to do, or the second thing we have to do, I want to give a big shout out to EUC Lifer. What's up, brother? Thanks for joining us. Brother Spartacus, yo, always in the trenches with us, man. Thank you so much. Everyone else that's watching, thank you. Flip is going to make his way in a little bit later. Right now, we're rocking it with PurpleRider from Seattle. I've been keeping up with his channel, and I'm loving it. Dude, you ride one of the legendary wheels. I say the unicorn of all wheels, the Nicola. Give us insight on the Nicola and your thoughts about it. And would you recommend the Nick to new riders or anyone just looking to get into the game?
Gosh, I love the Nickola Plus. In fact, the person who was on that wheel that passed me was on a Nickola Plus. And I had also run into some other people riding Nickola Plus. So I felt like, okay, it's kind of like a Seattle wheel or appropriate for Seattle. It works in the rain and everything. And absolutely, I love Nickola Plus. 60, 65 pounds, has good range, power, speed. I mean, I have a new electric unicycle, the Bigot Extreme, but even so, the Nickola Plus is still enough to give me the thrills. It's so maneuverable. I mean, you got to get right through those cars. You know, you can lane split, lane filter, all that. Nickola Plus, it's just fantastic. I mean, I thought I was going to start commuting on my new wheel, but I think I'll continue commuting on my Nickola Plus and then use the new wheel for trails, fun, speed, things like that.
Yeah, the Nick, man, that is a New York City staple. Even today, you go into the city, you go on a group ride or something, you'll still see a lot of Nicolas. David Jansen is known to rock the Nick, man. It's like the mailman wheel. Rain, sleet, or shine, that thing holds it down. You can ride, like, you can ride in any weather, man.
Yeah. Plus you got the speaker, right? So you got the music, which can also be good for notifying pedestrians that you're kind of around. So that's really nice. And has the lights. The red light, it'll continue going around while you're moving. And then when you're decelerating, the red light stops. and just goes to a solid red. So then drivers can kind of see when you're slowing down and when you're continuing to go. So it's like a light show, but at the same time, it's informative for them. So yeah, I absolutely love Nickola Plus.
Yeah, visibility is definitely key. I don't like to keep beating a dead horse. I got hit in 2021. Oh my goodness, dude. And the guy, well, he claims didn't see me. No hate towards the driver, but visibility for our just being seen by drivers is very important. Throw that out there for anyone looking to get into the game. Drivers are distracted on the phone, doing this, doing that, not paying attention to the road. So yeah, the lights do, having a stealth mode is cool, but the lights do make a difference. If you don't have it on the wheel, make sure you throw some on your helmet, on your backpack, or something. That's just that's a must. But
there was some time I was at an all-way stop, and this time I was waiting my turn because there's a lot going on. So I was waiting my turn. Then it was my turn, and I go, and then this person in this huge SUV is accelerating full force at me, and I'm freaking out. Like, they do brake, but that experience that I had, that's when I realized, okay, I need even more visibility.
Yeah, dude, once it happens, it's scary. You can't explain it, but it's like it'll settle you down a bit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I had a rider tell me once, cars, any vehicle always has the right of way. Always has the right of way. Even though you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just be careful. Just be careful out there. The sport we do is fun, but it's dangerous. And I tell people all the time, it's like they ask me, is it dangerous? Yeah, it's dangerous. It's fun, but it's dangerous. It's like the wingsuit. The guys with the wingsuits, the people that do that whole type of thing. That's how we are. There's two types of riders. I say this every stream: riders that have gone down and riders that will go down. I saw your video with the Nick.
Yeah,
you a little bit too much, man.
I over torqued that thing. yeah. But I also will say, there's different riding conditions where if you're accustomed to the same riding condition, the wheel will handle it. But if there's a different riding condition, the wheel might not handle it. So my backpack was loaded. I probably had another 20 or 30 pounds on me that I was not accounting for. And I think had I not had that, I would have been okay.
Right. And what mode do you ride in?
I ride the hard mode on the Nickola Plus.
There you go. Yeah. So you definitely had some extra weight there.
Right.
Yeah. So with all the new wheels coming out, Begode seems to be leading the pack with all these wheels. Is there anything that's like catching your eye? I know you just got the Extreme. What if you had it right now? What would you buy? Is there anything that you would say, hey man, I would take and go ahead and get that and add that to my stable? Any of the new stuff?
Gosh, that's a tough question because for one, my space is limited. I live in an apartment, so I honestly don't know if I even would go and buy one right now. And because I just have the Begode Extreme, I feel like I need to get good at that. I need a lot more time on that. But I will say the ET Max is very interesting.
Yes.
Looks like pretty fast. So that would be very curious. And then, of course, the Lynx. That's like the hottest wheel people are talking about. Everybody's like, Lynx this, Lynx that. So that's pretty interesting. What I find interesting about the Lynx is that it seems like they're able to maintain a really good power to weight ratio. And that's kind of what I'm about. I would love to get wheels even lighter with the suspension still. If we can get strong wheels, power, and get the weight down, I would just love the weight to come down if possible.
Yeah, weight definitely has to come down. I just bought the EX20 for a nice cruiser. 3,600 watt hour battery, 3,000 watt motor. It's a cruiser, but it's a little heavy. Weighs 102 or 104 pounds.
Yeah.
Not the heaviest wheel I've been on. EX30 is heavier. They say the EX30 is like 101. That thing's like 109 pounds. What else? The Monster is 118. The Master Pro, and then the V13 is about 110 or maybe a little bit more than that. But I definitely understand the weight power ratio. I like the Lynx to me is perfect. 88 pounds. It gives you everything you need. So I'm looking at something like that. I had my eye on the Master. We'll see about that in the summertime because I definitely need a race wheel, something to replace my RS. I'm going to keep the RS because I still love ripping on that thing. RS is like a Porsche 911, man. It doesn't get old. It doesn't get old. I need to do an all-out rip video on that thing, because when I'm really getting it, I don't film it because I want to keep my eye on the road. So maybe I can get my buddy Coke to film me one day, just straight lane splitting on that thing.
I love that. Actually, one wheel I just got reminded of is the Falcon, the big old Falcon coming out. That's what I find interesting, is that that's like 55 pounds, and you're still not getting that much power or battery. I mean, if a Nickola Plus is like 60 pounds, no suspension, of course, I almost feel like it's almost going in the wrong direction for me personally.
I get it. I have a video coming out about the Falcon. Now, I don't have the wheel, but I'm like Sherlock Holmes when it comes to wheels, dude. I'm like, I look at when people put out their review videos, and I'm comparing it with old videos. Yeah, 55 pounds.
Yeah.
And again, 900 watt hour battery, 2,800 watt motor, 100 watt. You're going to rip through that thing. It's not, if you're, for me, I'm a 200-pound rider. I like the way it looks, but that thing is going to be short-lived. Now, if you're just taking for, like a very quick last-minute commute, 10 miles, 12 miles, something like that. But dude, I don't want to say too much on that, because I have
I
have a video coming. I'm going to work on that right after we get out of here. But very interesting, and maybe next time, dude, you have to come back in here so we can actually break it down about that wheel, because I do have some just not questions, but some theories about that. And EUC Lifer here, I want to take a couple questions. He says, yeah, I've almost been taken out a few times by stupid drivers. Yeah, dude, they don't pay attention. And that's why I said in like the last stream, I'm very cautious even to want to ride seated out around cars, man. It's because you're already you're basically lowering yourself almost where their door is. You understand what I mean? And it's like people that switch lanes, they don't look, and it's kind of freaks me out a little bit, man. But
I will say that I ride with cars every day, and having the visibility, having the headlamp, having the light on my chest, I call it the Iron Man light. Having that light on the chest is because that's the light that people can see on their side mirrors.
Exactly.
And so that makes a huge difference. I will tell you, drivers treat me pretty well. I gotta say, they treat me pretty well, and I think the visibility is a big part of it.
It's a huge part of it. And one thing that I always say, people look at New York, oh man, I couldn't ride out there. So I will say one thing about New York drivers: they are so used to the freaking chaos, the deliveries, the buses, the truck, all that stuff. It's like, to me, I feel safer riding in New York City than I do in New Jersey. And that's the honest to goodness truth. The flow of traffic in New York City, man, once you get used to it, there's nothing like it, man. The adrenaline rush you get from riding in New York is insane, man. Insane. But it's not for the faint of heart, because you can get foobarred.
Yeah. I've seen some videos.
Yeah, you can definitely get foobarred. We got George. He says the Lynx is proving that quality matters. Yeah, I think Begode is definitely stepping up the quality of the product. And I just wish that they would slow down the production a bit, because it's like they're almost making wheels obsolete before they even come out. I mean, if you look at the Commander GT, who's going to buy the Commander GT now that the Lynx is out? You understand what I mean? So it's like they're stepping on their own toes. That would be my only advice to Begode. I understand people like variety, but it's getting to the point where it's a little much. When your wheel is outdated after 6 months and you just spent $4,000 on it, you're going to be like, what? Okay, what's going on here?
Yeah. I mean, that could burn somebody. They might have less loyalty to that manufacturer if they come out with a new wheel or a way superior version, and then you're just feeling like you're left in the dust, and you paid full price, and you had to deal with whatever batch issues that might have come about.
Yeah, it gets a little monotonous. We'll see if they it still seems like they're going full tilt. They're going full tilt. So we'll see what happens by summertime. And by summer, they might have 3 more wheels released. Jose, thank you, sir, for joining us this fine Friday evening. Jose is a really good rider out of New Jersey, man. He's been in the game a while. We're still trying to, hopefully this year, Jose, we can get a couple good rides in, you know.
What's up, Jose?
Jose is in the house again. Thank you. We have Stan, the man, always in the trenches with us as well. Yeah, I like the Falcon. I do. But I have some questions, and hopefully I can get this video done, if not tonight, tomorrow. And I will put it out because I think I found a few interesting facts or theories with the Falcon. And I think I know what they're going to do. So, Stan, I do love the design of the wheel. I just think the battery's a little small. But we'll see. We'll see what happens in the final product, and hopefully they can work all that stuff out. Purple regulations, bro. I've been keeping up with different videos, and some riders, they're concerned, and I can understand the concern with regulations on PEVs. What's your thought on it?
Well, first, I think it's inevitable. It's going to happen no matter what. The best situation would be is if EUC riders have a voice in the situation, that we can actually give input that is listened to. Because the thing about electric unicycle is that, well, some of them are small enough that you definitely would want to be on the sidewalk. Some of them are medium that you'd want in the bike lanes, and some are bigger that you want in the roads. And then there's the trail situation in the parks and all that. So a lot of stuff does need to be figured out. I'll say I kind of am enjoying this wild west situation that's happening right now. It's kind of fun. I never get harassed by cops. In fact, never. I mean, in Seattle, the police have so many other things to do, and they're basically underfunded. There's just not enough of them to do their jobs in general. So they don't even stop cars for running red lights. Like, I've witnessed cops seeing cars run red lights, and the cops don't do anything. So there is almost no traffic. There's no traffic enforcement around here. That said, for the regulation, I think there could be benefits to it. Like, we could get insurance on our wheels. I mean, like you were saying, people are getting hit by cars, or we're hitting cars. I'll admit, I have hit a car before. It was a $100,000 Maserati.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was not
like that. Oh, dude.
It was not an ideal situation. I'm glad I was wearing my chest armor, because it was my chest. It might have saved my sternum or my collarbone. I don't know, but the chest armor, I hit right into the back edge of this Maserati because he stopped suddenly. And then the cyclist comes over, and like, we're over in the sidewalk now. The cyclist comes over, and he's like, "Yeah, it was your fault. It was my fault." I was like, "Well, great. Thanks for standing up for me." But yeah, the crazy thing is that this guy, the car driver, I actually have worked with him in the past, so he knew who I was.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. And the good news is that the damage was very minimal. He got taken care of. His deductible insurance covered most of it, and he just asked me to Venmo him some money. So I paid him the money, and then that was that. But it could have been much worse.
Okay, so it all worked out in the end for both of you. So that you weren't hurt. Again, the car can be fixed. It wasn't major damage. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. As far as me with regulations, right? Now I know we're going to have some people out there that aren't going to agree with what I'm saying, but we're going to say it anyway because I always speak my mind. I'm at the point now where I don't even want to call, unicycles vehicles in a sense. I want to call them transportation devices. When I think of a vehicle, I think of a truck, I think of an SUV, I think of a car. You can get in it, you can shut the doors, you got a roof over your head. There's a lot of pros with riding PEVs or transportation devices, but there's a lot of cons as well. We're subject to the weather. You can't ride them all year. You definitely have to know what you're doing if you're riding an electric unicycle. I think that is the highest learning curve out of any of the stuff. Any of the, we'll keep calling them PEVs, but you understand what I'm saying. So it's hard because what it is, like you said, the police officers have their job already cut out. They're not harassing us, at least where I live anyway. I haven't had any problems with the police officers. It's people that don't know anything about PEVs. Oh, I don't like that on a trail. Yeah. I don't think it belongs here. That's against the law. Are you sure it's against the law? Then they write the councilman, or all of a sudden they're passing bills while we're sleeping. We have nobody representing us. You know what I mean? It's not like, okay, we're going to get 1,000 people, we're going to get 1,000 riders in the state or something like that. We're all going to meet and we're going to talk this out. It's nothing like that. So it's a lot of times people that know nothing about electric unicycles and e-bikes and skateboards and one wheels that are making the laws. And I just don't think that is fair. I'm going to continue to ride. I'm riding no matter what. If I got to go Ghost Rider style, I'm going Ghost Rider style. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm going to make a stand, and I'm going to make it known that these things are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere, and I think it has to be fair. But at the same time, I'm thinking of these as more as transportation devices, because again, if it's too cold, do you really want to be riding, a 30-mile ride? No. If it's raining too hard, you understand what I'm trying to say? So there's limitations to what we can do, how we ride, how long we ride, and things. So that has to be taken into consideration. But at the same time, think about it. With an electric unicycle, you can get on the sidewalk and you can ride it at a walking pace. You understand? So I don't understand what the big deal is riding these on the trails, mountain bike trails, or even these rail trails. If you see somebody, be courteous, you slow it down, and then once you pass them, you pick up a little bit. I mean, you don't have to be riding like a speed demon on the trails. Be respectful. But I think at the same time, the other people have to be respectful of what we're doing. And but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. That's my take on it anyway. Let's see. If the transportation device weighs less than a rider, I say no registration nor insurance should be required. That is a good idea. That would be actually pretty cool. If they stay under a certain weight, they don't have to be insured. That's actually pretty good.
I mean, 150-pound electric unicycle could be a pretty powerful beast, though.
Yeah, once that thing gets going. But I mean, if you put it up to, let's just say, I did a video on I was talking about like riding in windy conditions, and I used a CBR 500, CBR 500R, and that thing weighs 419 pounds. Now, bikes are considered light. So even with a Master Pro weighing 118 pounds, there's still a significant, drop in weight. Now, it is heavy. Don't get me wrong. 108 is nothing to sneeze at when you're riding. But at the same time, compared to a 4,000-pound plus, truck or SUV or a 3,500-pound car, that is absolutely nothing. So it's like there has to be some type of leeway. There has to be a common ground if it goes into regulations on these things, because we're no match for any vehicle out there, not even a freaking smart car. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I mean, if you look at also the PEV regulations for e-bikes, seems like e-bikes are much more heavily regulated, class 1, class 2, class 3. And then manufacturers are designing their bikes towards those specific specs. So you have all these e-bikes, which in my opinion are weak or almost handicapped a little bit by the regulations. So I don't like that. What we have not seen quite yet is the same thing happening for the electric scooters. So that could be a thing too. It's like, how powerful can your motors be? What's the size of this?
Right.
But with electric unicycles, we need the power. We need the headroom. I mean, it's such a different thing when you have just one wheel.
Dude, you hit the nail on the head. What am I going to do with a 750-watt motor? I'm gonna end up cutting that thing out and killing myself on it. We need that power to help keep us upright. Now with the e-bikes, same thing. I'm looking at somebody saying, "Oh, 750-watt motor." Some of them can't even go up a hill. Let's just be honest and it's like, so again, you have people making laws and regulations not knowing what these things are, their capabilities. Like you said, the differences between a 750-watt motor, a 1,000-watt motor, and all these types of things. So they have to take a step back before they're ready to come down with the hammer and say you can't do this and you can't do that. You got to know what you're talking about, as far as the people trying to regulate this stuff.
I still think they really do want, or when I say they, I feel like cities really do want these devices to be implemented because they want less cars. They want less pollution. So I feel like they're not going to ban them. We just need to make sure that the regulations, when they ultimately do come, are good for everybody.
Yeah, make sure it's fair. Now, New York City, this was crazy. I've worked in New York City for the last, geez Louise, man, like 30 years, right? And I've ridden bikes, mountain bikes. I've skateboarded. I've rollerbladed through the city. And now I'm on my electric unicycle. The backbone of New York City's deliveries is all done through PEVs, e-bikes, electric scooters. You have guys even doing it on electric unicycles. I know at one point they have, excuse me, the Greenway, the Hudson Bike Trail on the west side. They didn't want any electric bikes, scooters, skateboards, anybody on that trail. At one point, they had signs up there. I think some people have gotten ticketed. They would tell you to get off of it. And what I loved about the New York crew, they would ride on it anyway. They did a lot of street riding, but if they wanted to take it, they would take it. One thing I kept saying is city bikes. They have the e-bikes that people can rent, that whole type of thing. A lot of people didn't know those things were they're e-bikes. Yeah. They're like, I'm like, yeah, dude, look on, they have hub motors on it. So it got to a point where it was like people kept riding on it. It was like now everybody can ride on the Greenway. You understand? And they wanted, at one point, they're fighting to add, registration to the e-bikes. Do you really think that they're going to take the city bikes and put plates on all these things? No, it's going to cut into who's ever making money. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. So again, e-bikes, this stuff is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. I know at one point they tried to ban it in New York City and they couldn't because all their deliveries and stuff depend on it. So yeah, man, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, not going anywhere.
I agree, Lifer, dude. I'm not stopping. I am not stop riding. I'm not going to do it.
And not at this point. Once you get into it, once you become an EUC rider, it's like you don't really imagine life without it, or at least me, I don't really imagine life without it.
Yeah, I'm not stopping. Forget that, dude. I'm not. Is banning people only a EUC conversation? No, it's not. It's e-bikes as well. I mean, if you look at like the videos on YouTube, you'll see e-bikes on, mountain bike trails. Oh, dude, you're not allowed to have that here. You're not. I'm like, come on, man. Who's to say that you're not allowed to ride on land? We don't own any of this land down here. We're all going to die off and someone else is going to be here. That's the way I look at it. We have to learn how to share being down here. So I don't get that whole thing of banning people from trails. And I always say, and we had said this before we started the stream, it's like skiers versus snowboarders back in the day. At one point, snowboarders, they didn't want them on a trail. They didn't want them on the ski slopes. Now look at it. A lot of these resorts wouldn't even make money or be able to stay open if it wasn't for snowboarders going to the resorts. So,
and also, I mean, the thing about there might be some elitists who think that, it should only be pedal powered or human powered, but really having the electric assist or having electric opens it up to so many more people who otherwise would not have that mobility, and the quality of life you can get from riding these things is way up there.
Exactly. Again, you get you a nice light road bike, you can pedal that thing up to 35 miles an hour. I mean, let's be honest. Most pedal bikes you can get up to daggone 30 miles an hour easy. So to sit there and say that you can only limit an e-bike to 28 when you can pedal a bike faster than 28 miles an hour, it's lopsided.
Yeah.
And I might upset some people, but when I'm riding on trails and stuff, the most people that I see causing a ruckus are the people on them darn road bikes. I'm just saying. And New York City, yeah, dude. I'm just being honest, man. They're flying around like they're the fastest thing. And I'm like, wait a second. They give us a hard time, but they're riding more reckless than we do.
Right.
So if they come in here and get mad, I'm just telling the truth. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Anyone in the comments, if you see these people on these road bikes riding all crazy and stuff, put a comment in because I see it all the time. I'm in New York every day. I see it. We got Jose. He says, I meet so many people on my V12, including cops, and I always get the same question. What the heck is that? Can I buy one for my son? But I'm always cautious around people and cars. Yeah, Jose. I get it, bro. I'm the same way. Again, I think the closest call, and I think I told this story. I'll tell it quick. Was I was at Penn Station in New York City, and I see this brother on a scooter, and we start talking. You know, it's early morning commute, and I'm putting my helmet and stuff on. He's like, man, I don't know how you do it, man. You have no handlebars. I'm like, dude, you need to chop them handlebars off, dude. Once you get used to it, there's nothing like it. So now we talked for a couple minutes, and I was like, all right, man, be safe. He's like, yeah, dude, be safe. And the whole time there was a cop over there watching us, right? So I'm looking, and he starts like walking toward me, and I'm like, okay. So I'm putting my helmet on, and I look at what way he's coming. So I aim my unicycle in the way that I have to go. And I was on my RS, and it was between my legs. One pedal was down, the other was up. So I slowly clicked the other pedal, click. I'm just going to run this dude. If he says something, I'm just taking off. And I hear him say, hey, I put my foot on, I go to take off. He's like, wait a second. He's like, man, is that thing hard to ride? He knew it was like, dude, I was about to just jet. Yeah. And I was like, okay, he's cool. I was like, nah, dude, it's, you know, and I told him it's not hard to ride. It's just like learning how to ride a bike, maybe a little bit hard. But once you get used to it, he came over, he picked it up. He's like, man, I didn't realize these things were this heavy. And we talked for a little bit. And he was like, I see you got a helmet. Do you have elbow pads in here? I said, yeah, dude, I'm all geared up. He's like, all right, buddy, take it easy. Have a good day. And that's it. That was it. And I went on my way. So, you know, remember a lot of cops used to ride the Segways.
I've seen some videos too of people having interactions with cops. And if somebody is not wearing any safety gear and kind of making some foolish decisions in the road, the cop might stop them and then just have a conversation, but it doesn't seem like they're mad or upset about anything. I also think that cops themselves, many of them are adrenaline junkies in some way. So they're kind of are probably curious or maybe even jealous. I mean, honestly, I'm having a pretty good time riding up and down the street. And I think the cops would rather be in my position a lot of the times. Mm-hmm. And then I've also had conversations where I asked, what's your perception of these things? And they say, oh, they're just like, we treat them similar to bicycles, basically. So and they don't do shit to bicycles. So
that's it. And another thing that people on the outside looking in, and if they watch your stream, we love riding these things, but they're limited. And that's what people don't understand. Oh, man, he'll do 50 miles an hour. Well, you're not going to do 50 miles an hour all day long. And that depends on what wheel you have. Depends on the battery you have. Depends on the conditions. Depends on your weight. There's so many different variables that affect how you run and the performance you get out of your EUC. So, I mean, this stuff all has to be taken into consideration. And it's not. It's not. So I think, again, there has to be a bridge between that gap. You have to be knowledgeable before you pass any regulations or any rules on these things. They got to study up. Let's see. And yeah, Life says he delivers in Colorado too. Yeah, dude. E-bikes, scooters, electric unicycles, skateboard, man, I'm telling you, they are huge in the delivery market. If they would ban all this stuff in New York, it would just paralyze the whole delivery. No one's getting their lunch, their dinner, breakfast, medications, paychecks. New York, again, their whole backbone and delivery structure right now is based on PEVs. It is. The city would come to a standstill. George says, as a disabled person, it's the only reasonable way to get around other than a car. I agree 100%. And they need to take this into consideration. I agree 100%. I've seen a couple bikers hit people. Oh, dude. Again, I'm in New York City every day, 7 days a week. And the stuff that I've seen on disc pedal bikes, I've seen it all. I've seen people get hit. I've seen bikers get hit. I've come out and see where they have a blanket or something over where someone, a rider got hit underneath a car. Yeah, dude, I've seen it all in New York City. Yeah, man, I've seen it all. So to sit there and say that a pedal bike can't be dangerous is on the contrary, because it can be. It can be. What it comes down to is the rider, skill of the rider, how they're riding.
Having the attention, having the awareness of pedestrians or movement. I mean, so important. to see any sort of movement, and then you kind of predict that a pedestrian is going to pop in, pop out. I mean, I would hate to hit somebody. I mean, that's one of my worst nightmares is to hit somebody. Honestly, I do not ever want to hit somebody.
I don't want yeah, dude, I'm the same way. I mean, if you look at a lot of my videos, a lot of my stuff, I'm not like, if I'm in New York City, that's one thing, you know, but normally you're around a lot more vehicles. There's a ton of people, but I try to stay out of their way. And then when I'm riding by myself, I try to go where there's not going to be a lot of people, especially if I'm filming and stuff. So I try to keep my distance. I want to be a ghost when I ride. I really don't even want, you know, really want to be seen. So I start doing more late night rides, early morning rides. And then even now, if I hear like some people will say, "Hey, but," I give a thumbs up and a wave, "Hey, what's," and I keep on going. I really don't even stop anymore.
Yeah.
Before it was like, "Oh yeah, it's this and it." Nah. See, when I see you, man, I see you on a rebound. I don't say much of anything. I just get in and get out.
But what I want to know is, what are some of the strangest or rudest or weirdest things that people have yelled or shouted at you while riding?
Oh man. I think the coolest one for me was this was this little kid, dude. It was like a late summer. It just got dark. And I didn't have my Bluetooth speaker on. I was actually on my Tesla. I had the red lights going. And I had, I think, a couple lights on my back. And I'm ripping down. I always call it side street shredding. I'm on the side streets. And this kid's like, "Mommy, mommy, look, there's a UFO." And she's looking, and I just go blazing by. That was pretty cool. I've had quite a few cars buzz the tower. I call that, you know, like the Top Gun, where you can't even slide a sheet of paper between like your freaking leg or your shoulder. Seriously, just on purpose. I'm like, "Dude, you got a whole freaking road." Yeah, they do stupid stuff. I had an SUV pull up beside me and just yell, "Ah," like to scare me to not. I'm like, "Dude, are
Oh
you?"
my gosh.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. There
And
definitely is some taunting, a little bit taunting going on out there. I have these, sometimes I'll go down where there's health support services area, and there'll be people not mentally well, and they'll just scream at the top of their lungs, "Ah!" Like, okay, I'm not going to react. I'm just going to keep going. You know, they're out of their minds, literally out of their minds. Usually I get more taunts when I'm having my Insta 360. So when I have my selfie stick, one person just recently shouted, "Hope you crush."
You
I'm like,
serious?
geez, man, that's
Please,
like kind
Louise,
of
man.
rude and stuff. But for the most part, people are pretty interested. And I was reading a thread that people were saying that the best reactions are from the kids, especially the boys, and then like older people tends to be kind of the best, most positive reactions you get.
Yeah, I would say that too. The kids and older people, because they're like, "What is that? I've never seen anything." Yeah, definitely. What's happening, Electric Unicycle? Dale, my man.
Hey,
What's up, bro?
we're saying good day.
Good day.
Good night.
Yes. And he says, "Where's Flip?" Flip was a little bit under the weather. I was hoping he would jump on. I know he wasn't feeling too good. He said he would be here, but hey, man, we're trying to hold it down. Hopefully, he can make it in. If not, Flip and I will definitely do something next week if we can. Let's see. Pit bulls are my problem. That's why performance is a must. Yeah, I had a video where I had a pity come after me on my Tesla, man. And the sad part is, it wasn't even a mean dog. I think the guy said he was in the house all day and just wanted to play and decided to chase me, man. And what are you gonna do, man? I had to bail off the wheel and nothing happened. Tesla flipped up in the grass, and then
Oh, wow.
yeah, so
Dang.
it was
Also,
all right.
you know, dogs in Seattle, there are actually more dogs than children. So there are
What?
a lot of dogs out here.
That's
And
crazy.
I'll say most of the dogs are kind of used to it, but some dogs, you know, I definitely see their owners having to keep that leash pretty tight because the dog's trying to come at me.
Yeah, and the things with a dog, it's like they don't even they always want to put their head in front of the freaking wheel. You ever notice that? It's like her and they're like, I'm like, dude, what are you doing, dog? You know, they always
Yeah,
want to bite
dog.
the wheel. Might be that, I don't know if there's like a frequency coming out of the wheel, but it drives a lot of dogs freaking
Probably
crazy.
is a frequency, yeah.
Let's see. Dude, I still people the Tesla. Man, I love that wheel to this day, man. The freaking Tesla was very surprising. I hit 34 miles an hour, and I wouldn't recommend that to anybody on a full charge on a Tesla. Yeah, I'm surprised the wheel didn't cut out. I didn't hear the beeps. I don't know where the frick I was riding, and I was like, what? I hit 34 miles an hour. I was like, damn, okay.
That's what I'll say. That's one of my main criticisms of the Nickola Plus. I never hear the beeps. I just can't hear them.
Yeah, yeah, dude. You got to have a little bit of a buffer there, man.
Yeah.
Let me see what else. I think we got all the questions. So dude, what can we expect out of your channel? Like I said, I watch your content. I can't comment all the time. I always tell people I watch a lot of EUC content, but I watch on my Xbox, and you can't comment on an Xbox. I would have to have my phone and all this. I'm like, nah. So I watch a lot of stuff. But what can we look forward to on your channel?
Sure. Yeah. Well, mainly my channel is essentially a personal blog for my electric unicycle journey. So I'm just trying to share what I'm going through, and if I can give people some entertainment. And also, really want to continue gaining skills so that people can learn from that. And also, I think a big part of my channel is just to connect with the community, connect with riders, so people know what I'm about, because I really do want to show up to in-person events eventually. I mean, It takes a lot of time and resources, and I'm not quite there yet for showing up to these events and racing and stuff like that. But in the future, I really do want to be a bigger part of the community. And so I'm really enjoying making connections with people. Some of the comments are absolutely fantastic. I am surprised at some of the positive reactions I'm getting. Good. So I just want to continue with the style that I'm doing. Probably keep it more electric unicycle related. Some Seattle stuff about me, but keep it related to electric unicycle. And then also maybe show more about the culture in Seattle, about how electric unicycles are increasing, and then maybe also do some positive things, because I think there's so much potential for electric unicycles, some actions that could be taken, whether it's going to deliver something for people in need, or doing something altruistic. So I really feel like there's that potential. I don't know exactly what that looks like. I feel like there's potential to show EUCs in a really good light. And so that's my long-term vision. And then my short-term is getting skilled at the Bigot Extreme and then growing the channel.
Awesome. And one thing I love about your channel too, you give great commentary. Your commentary is top notch while you're riding, and it just keeps the viewer engaged. So I really do dig that.
Thank you.
Oh, wait a second. We got one. The Tesla was a work of art, but Go should have continued that line. Yeah, I think, dude. I mean, they have the T4, but it's just completely different than the old Tesla, man. I wish they would have continued with that as well. Again, you have the T4, but to me, it's still not like the old Tesla. And I honestly want to see another Nicola. So
version 2.
Yeah, Bigot, if you're watching, Millie Bigot, you guys need to do another Nicola. You got to do another Nicola. There's no way that you can have Gotway / Bigot and there's no Nicola. Come on, man.
But I will say, I was reading one of my paperwork that came with my Nickola Plus, and it did say that they had the copyrights to Nickola V2 in there. So I don't know if that's just them potentially thinking down the line they might do it, but I would love for them to revisit it, make it more powerful.
And keep that same shape, and maybe just tune it a bit, but keep that same. Yeah, man. I love the Nick, man. That thing, again, it's a legendary unicorn of a wheel, man. And what? You hit 36. My man. 36 miles an hour on a Tesla, dude. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's moving. Because
that's the thing about EUC Lifer being delivery and riding all the time. You get a lot of skills. You can push those wheels.
Yeah, once you're out there, man, and you're miles and miles, it's racking up miles. I mean, there's people in New York that have put over 18,000 miles on wheels and stuff, man.
That's insane.
Yeah, and like I said, they're not going anywhere. And I want to say this. Again, some people probably going to get on me. I don't care. I'm going to say it anyway. New York is just a whole different animal when you ride up here. And I see a lot of people giving New York riders flack. Oh, they're going to get us banned. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. I see crazy riders in every freaking state people are riding. That's just the bottom line. Everyone's doing, again, you have some chill riders. You have some crazy daredevil riders. There's a little mixture of everything. But New York, to me, is still one of the best places to ride. It really is. And I think without East Coast riders, without New York riders, the PEV scene wouldn't be what it is today. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be that. They set a lot of trends and a lot of legendary riders came out here. Respect to people riding everywhere else as well. But New York, there's no place like New York. No place like New York. If you ever get the chance, you got to come out here and ride.
Yeah, I've been going through some of those older videos. People have been riding electric unicycles in New York for a long time.
Yeah. Man. A long time. And there's, the thing is, what's kind of sad, like a lot of the people that I watched when I first got in it, they're not even making videos anymore. They still ride, but they're not even making videos. Like Tashawn Foy, Ebikes.
Yeah.
Dude. Still to this day, Tashawn Foy is still one of my favorite riders. That brother is smooth. If you ever watch his videos, you got to look him up, man. Smooth. Ebikes, to me, what I loved about Ebikes, great rider, phenomenal rider, but his videos were like EUC entertainment. That's what
art. His videos like artwork.
Yeah, dude, it was art. It was art, and I wish he would come back and make more videos. I loved his stuff. Again, man, New York City, no place like it. I respect the riders in New York a lot, because it is no easy task riding up here. It is known for the city that devours wheels. It's like Galactus, man. It's like Galactus, dude.
I really do wonder what happens to some of the people who have made a bunch of YouTube videos and then just kind of fell off or disappeared. I'm just very curious.
They still ride. Another great rider, man. I'm gonna start digging down into the Chris Yam. He had a House of Jobs. I think that's what his channel was. Dude, phenomenal rider. Phenomenal.
I think I saw a video of him, a Ronin video.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just talking about soft pedals and how the technique on the soft pedals.
And he does it all. No pads. And he got.
It's not a light wheel.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Chris Yam and he knows his stuff. So big respect to the New York crew. These guys are phenomenal. Let's see if we got any more questions. So what we're going to do, what time we got here? We're going to start wrapping this up. And I always ask this question. I think you've been riding long enough. If your favorite EUC manufacturer calls you up and said, "Hey, Mr. PurpleRider, we want to build a wheel to your specs. What type of wheel would you build? Would it be for street? Would it be for trails? Would you have like a dual sport wheel? What would be the trimmings that you would put on a wheel under PurpleRider USA?"
Well, I'll tell you, definitely be street. Absolutely be street wheel. Something with a power to weight ratio. Something with LED lights, like very aesthetic. I want speaker, suspension, maybe. I could even see myself potentially buying a new wheel in the future. If it was upgraded and didn't have suspension, like a Nickola Plus version 2, I could see myself buying something like that, like 60 pounds, powerful, 50 miles per hour, something like that. I would go for it.
Nice. Suspension, I love it. And I said in my video, it was like, what have I been missing? But again, man, to me, non-suspension is like a race car, if that makes any sense. You get so much feedback from the freaking road. And that's one thing I love about non-suspension wheels. I'm a sports car type of dude. I like my sporty cars. And it's just like, the difference if you're driving a Corvette or if you're driving like a Lexus SUV. Lexus SUV, love it. Handles great, but it feels kind of floaty. You get a Corvette, you're low to the road, You hit a pebble, you feel it,
You feel
but
it.
you understand what I mean, though, but you get that feedback from the road, which is awesome, man.
There's so much more body movement necessary for the non-suspension wheels. Like, when you see that bump coming, you definitely try to avoid it. But if you can't avoid it, you need to be prepared
You
to
gotta get
move your
ready.
body to that.
Stan, thank you so much for coming. And if we could please ask everyone, hit the like button so we can try to, boost this up the YouTube algorithm. Please go support PurpleRider USA. Once this
Check
video
it
goes
out.
up, hopefully tomorrow I will make sure that, a link will be in the description below for his channel. He puts out great content. So please give him a follow, give the video a like. Stan, thank you so much. Everyone that made it in here, thank you so much. Let's get to these last couple. What's your what's your wheel of the year?
Gosh, well, what do you mean by wheel of the year?
In your opinion, what would be your favorite wheel? Whether it's what you're riding or something that you would like to ride, what would be? Is it the new Master V4? Is it the Extreme? Is it the Lynx? Is it the Sherman S? What would be your wheel of the year?
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is ET Max. I know it's not like within my own preference necessarily, but honestly, I wouldn't mind hopping on that thing and just going get some speed. I would like some speed, man. I want some open road.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Again, there's nothing like riding an EUC. And this goes out to anybody that is trying to add rules and regulations. You need to sit down. You need to find out how these things work. You need to dig into the community and reach out to people and sit down and come up with common sense rules. But to just sit there and just say, hey, we're going to hack and slash and we're going to stop people riding these things, or we're going to make some outlandish rules, all you're going to do is get pushback. Because I tell y'all right now, I'm not stopping. I'm not. If you got to take my wheel, I got another one to replace it. So if I got to become a ghost rider, then I'll become a ghost rider, and that's it. I'll stealth, keep the visor on, and just.
Man, we're not going anywhere.
Oh, we're not going anywhere. It's okay. We're going to extend this for a little bit. This is my opinion. I think what really helped, I'm talking across the board, e-bikes, skateboards, electric unicycles, what have you. I honestly think COVID helped. Think about the sales went through the freaking roof on all that stuff. And I think there were so many people riding, and that just spiked up everything. It was like a flood came, and they couldn't stop it. They can't. There's so many people riding because they had nothing else to do. Now, I think if it continued on how it was, I think they might have been able to say, hey, we're going to do this. It's too late now.
Yeah.
It's just too many. There's too many people doing it.
Cat's out the bag.
It's out the bag, man.
And really, I mean, I really do believe that cities want this alternative transportation. I really do believe it. So they want less cars.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I refuse. Only time I take the subway in New York is if it's raining too hard. Otherwise, I walk everywhere I go unless I have my electric unicycle. And that's another thing, too. I can't take it every day because I have to put it on a bus or I have to put it on a train. I live 13 miles outside of New York, so there's really no other way for me, because I would have to go way out of my way to get to work. So that's not going to happen. So we'll see what happens. I think they're working on a station where the platform is going to be a little easier access for me to get my unicycle on. And once that happens, I'll ride more. But nah, dude, subway, bus, taking a bus in New York, man, heck no. I'm not getting. I rode the bus one time, and I've been in New York City over 25 years. Heck no, dude. No, I'm not taking a bus.
No, buses, I mean, there's very problematic people doing drugs in the back, people with guns. I mean, they got some issues here.
Yeah, F that, man. I'm not taking a bus, not taking a train. PEV, transportation devices, as I like to call them, that is the way to go. I think every city needs to work with the riders. Get them together. Work with the riders. You see so many YouTube channels. Contact them. Talk to them. Email them. They have all their contact information down there, and let's make it happen. But we're not going anywhere. We are here to stay.
Yeah, I'll also say that if you are in a city that is working on their transportation infrastructure or reaching out to people, then please definitely fill out those surveys and talk, because in Seattle, they will send out these surveys and there's like a lot of lists I'll go through, and you can put your voice in there and it can be listened to.
Yeah, definitely, man. We got to get our voices heard out there. Hopefully, and it's good. I'm sorry to keep you guys. Guys, don't go anywhere. I still have a few things. I think one of my first, let's read this question, and then I'll get with this because this is important. So Spartacus says, yes, it exploded. I saw a really good poll. It was of when people started after 2020, that community grew by 7. See, yeah, man, 75%. I used to be the only one in my city. Now I'm chasing new riders down every year, and it's growing, and it's growing. And dude, I love it. I love it because cars, trucks are not the only way to get around. Whether you're in a city, you're in the suburbs, it's changed. And people, they don't like change, but it has to happen. It has to happen. PV should abide by the same regulation. Dude, George, I said this before, and I don't think people took me seriously. You can ride in some states, and I think most states, you can ride a horse down a freaking highway. Yeah, you can ride a horse on any road. So if you can ride a horse on a road, you should be able to ride a PEV. Look it up. Yeah. Yep. Thank you, George. Because I said that before. People were like, what? Yeah, you can. Wait, let's see what we got here. Stan, any option why EUCs are leading the charge in innovation with PEVs? I think it's just, okay, I'll put it this way. What do you see more of? Bicycles or unicycles? You see more people on bicycles. So to see a unicycle, it's just like, it's mesmerizing in a sense. You understand what I mean? And I think the bicycle has been around for so long. Same thing with e-bikes, and with the unicycle, dude, I think that it's just, as far as movement goes, as far as transportation goes, I don't think there's anything that even comes close to this. I mean, the way you can cut through traffic, the performance of it.
I'll say, my perception of why EUCs might be leading the charge is maybe having a lot to do also with better technology, better components, more access to these components, motherboards, software, processing. I think that has a lot to do with it because the EUCs benefit way more from that sort of thing compared to like the scooters or the e-bikes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think battery tech, once they release it, they have it. I think that's definitely going to bump up EUCs or PVs altogether. Can you imagine having a 900 watt hour battery that would give you that would give you a range of a 3,000 watt hour battery? You understand? That's going to be epic, man. And it's there.
Power to weight ratio.
Yeah, they have the tech. They just need to release it. They have so many different types of batteries: solid state batteries, graphene batteries, hemp batteries. Pick which one you want to do and release the effing tech, man. It's there. It's there. What a lot of people don't know, there were electric cars before petrol cars, gas cars. Electric cars have been around a very, very long time. Electric motor is old. It's not a new thing. It's not. Not at all. And EC Life says, dang, I still ride my wheels to work, even if I had to carry them up multiple flights of stairs. Yeah, dude. It's, like I always say, man, there's nothing like it, man. I mean, I put more miles on my wheel than I do my car. I put more miles on my wheel. I'd rather ride my wheel than drive my car. At one point, I thought about selling my car. I'm like, dude, I'd take the money to buy another wheel. But I said, nah, I'll keep the car. It's almost a collector's item, so I'll keep it.
And the elevator in my building broke down one time, and I had to carry it up and down 5 stories. I would say, even for a 65 pound wheel, it was a little frustrating. Not so easy on the back. It's not like you can just, have it on your handles or sides. It's like, oh. But I hear you. I mean, I didn't stop riding.
You didn't. No, you didn't stop. You just work. You
Yeah.
just work around it. And I think for me, my two epic stories that I have, and I try to share this because you hear so many people say that their EUC riding is their therapy. I get it. I get it. Again, you feel free. The people that I have met in the community have been awesome. But I met one of my best friends, Coquette Robinson. I always try to bring him up every show. We met. He actually found me. He saw my videos on YouTube. He recognized where I was riding, and he was on his V10F. And my wife and I, we went to this park. She was doing her jog. I was on my Tesla. She went her way. I went mine. And he actually pulled up. He said to my wife, "Hey, did you see a guy on a unicycle?" My wife's like, "Yeah, he went that way." And he ran me down on his V10F. And I was like, "Who the heck is this?" And we've been friends ever since.
Oh man.
That's my riding buddy.
Heck
And
yeah.
then I have my cousin Frankie. He's a state trooper in Pennsylvania. And he said he was inspired to learn how to ride from watching my videos. And man, that made me feel so good that people would actually watch my content and be inspired to ride. And what's great about that, he rides the wheel. He'd take it to the police station. He showed his fellow officers how it works. And some of them actually wanted to learn how to ride. So you see how it just starts to spider web out. And this is how we do it. And I think the more that people understand how these things work, the better off we're going to be. And we have police officers, firefighters, engineers, doctors, lawyers. Everybody's riding these things now. Everybody. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Yes, Spartacus, definitely, man. I agree with that. I need a car to travel long distances, but I definitely spend more hours a year on the wheel than behind. Yeah, yeah, dude. I'm the same way. Like, if I'm gonna go to Pittsburgh or drive, like my 400-mile or 350-mile drives, I'm definitely gonna take my car, but my wheel is definitely gonna be in the back. It's definitely gonna be in the back. And once I get to my destination, I'm gonna ride. I am going to ride. Yeah. So, brother, any last words? Again, I appreciate you coming on here. We had a little bit of back and forth, but I appreciate you for getting back with me. I was trying to put together a bigger stream, but again, everybody's schedules are different, so trying to mix and match and get like 4 or 5 different people is definitely hard. I will try that for next time, but PurpleRider, appreciate you for coming on. Any last words?
Yeah, I just want to say that I really appreciate the electric unicycle community welcoming me and encouraging me to create more content, make more videos. I had no idea that people would be so receptive, and so it's really motivating me to continue with this. And I really do want to continue connecting with people and hopefully meet all of you in person one day.
One day, it's speaking into existence. It is going to happen.
Yeah.
I know for me, as far as events go, last year was rough. I had planned out my ride year. I wanted to do DC groundings. I wanted to do Chicago groundings. I wanted to do the wheel rally and all that stuff. The rug just got yanked out from under me. So I will definitely make it to the Chicago groundings this year. I will make it to the DC groundings. I will be at Black Cobra's wheel rally. And I will post that too. I want to get the exact date. That's coming up in August. If you can make it. Black Cobra puts on an amazing, amazing rally. I love it. And I will definitely, on the next stream, I will put up give the dates and everything like that. But I'm going to make it to more events this year. Definitely. Let's see what we got here.
Thanks, George.
George, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. I really, really do. I never thought my channel would get to this point anyway, where people would tune in and watch and leave comments. And I'm thankful. I really am thankful for everybody. And I really mean that. I really, really do. Yes, yeah. Spartacus. In-person events. Yeah. So that is it, man. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. Remember, you get on your wheel, you ride it. Like you hate it, you ride it like you hate it. I'm Sensei, your
PurpleRider.
That's it. People, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate and love each and every one of you. Hello, good night, peace out, and have a fantastic weekend.
Thanks, everybody.